This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IF.
KUGAN CASSIUS.
At KUGAN. This is at KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV. We're at the Tower Hotel here in Tower Hill for the Prizefighter UK versus USA heavyweights. With me, I've got promoter Eddie Hearn. What are you going to say?
What a bell end. Fucking hell, mate. Come on. Who walks around with a T-shirt with their Twitter name on the front of it?
Well, obviously I do.
Exactly. That's bad. Bad form, mate.
No, it ain't bad form at all. It's
not
good.
Even rascal. It's not even rascal. It's like pleb.
I bet you I can get someone to wear one of these.
What, with that KUGAN CASSIUS?
With that KUGAN CASSIUS.
Why don't you ask AJ? You and him seem to be close these days.
We are seem to be close.
Forming your own promotional allegiance.
What did you think watching that, obviously?
It scared me because he's actually thought about it. I have to remind him that the last Olympian who tried to manage his own career didn't work out too well. He's very bright, you know. I mean, but he has thought about it. You know, I'd drive up to Hull, sit down with Luke
and the family,
you know, and then we'd look at GGG because obviously it's great for our Eastern European business. Fucking hell.
Sounds like you. I
mean, the only other fighters I've known have been interested in Eastern European business is for something completely different, you know. But he seems to have this idea that one day he wants to rule the boardroom as well. Worrying. I have to have a word with him. Just get in there and knock people out.
Probably my fault for enticing that situation, but...
Totally. Well, that's what you like to do best, entice situations.
Indeed. Did you phone Lou DiBella?
Last night? Yes, I did, actually.
And what was the conversation? Can you tell us, like, exact...
Yeah, I mean, you know me, Kug, quite open. I'd like to make Macklin against Andy Lee in Dublin next spring. It's something that's been discussed between myself and Lou, and obviously Adam Booth, who's training Andy Lee as well. We'd like to do it at the O2 in Dublin. I'd like to do a huge event out there, and I'm hopeful we can get it done. I really enjoyed the show last night. You know, it was great to see gloves are off with 4 guys who are still fighting. You know, because obviously it's very difficult to say, "Oh, I would have done this," or I'd do this when you're retired and all said and done. But with these guys, they're still fighting, and you could see the animosity. You know,
yeah, where no one has fought each other as well.
Yeah, but and you could see Andy Lee's desire to fight Macklin, and the fact that ducking's a tough word. He's turned that fight down in the past for various reasons, and I think that would be a great fight in Ireland. But Macklin's boxing on December the 7th in America. I think Andy Lee might get out before then, and then hopefully we can do that in the spring. Love to do it. I think both fighters would do it. I think that could be a big occasion in Dublin.
Interesting. Where none of them are your fighter as well, so your bit.
Just a pimp, ain't I?
Basically. Demetrius Andrade won at the weekend. Split decision to win the vacant title.
You stopped rubbing my leg as well. Sorry.
I've been doing that with someone down there. It's just, yeah.
You know when you bump into someone's leg, like, especially when it's another man, and you think, oh, blimey, sorry. Well, you bumped into my leg about 30 seconds ago and haven't actually removed it.
Do you know what's ironic about this?
Why are you doing that?
Do you know what's ironic about this discussion?
What?
You were on live TV and you let FROCH basically finger you, right?
Oh, that's disgusting.
In the ear.
That's disgusting. You can't say things like that.
Say what I fucking want. It's our thing. Listen, you let FROCH just abuse you. You didn't say anything, and your excuse was, "We're on live TV. What do you want me to do? Another man's touching me. What am I meant to do?" I would have gone, "Listen, Cole. Do you mind
Let me tell you the bottom line with that is, FROCH is much more attractive than you.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Man's a man.
Okay. Anyway, just a little bit uncomfortable with that leg touching mine. Good. Do what I do. So anyway, Andrade, yes. The letters went out from the WBO last night to say we've got 30 days to negotiate with Artie Pelula, who we know very well, Banner Promotions, to try and get that fight made. We've got 30 days, otherwise it will go to purse bids. I think we can bring it to Blackpool. I do. I mean, Andrade,
where would you have it at Blackpool?
I'd probably do it at the Winter Gardens and just try and get 3,000. I mean, obviously you would, but we're talking about May. You know, it's unlikely. We're not really going to go outdoors in Blackpool, but you know, Andrade, very very good fighter. You know, 6'2", slick southpaw. Not much of a draw yet in America. I don't know. I've got to get a little outside chance. We do a little night in Blackpool. And what a great chance he'd have in Blackpool. I mean, you stick Andrade up in a nice B&B, you know, give him the best preparations you could give him on fight week, and I don't know, I think we could have some fun with it. So I'm just, you know, I'm delighted that obviously we've gone down the final eliminator route, and a mandatory's been called immediately. So it's great. It shows our strategic approach, which works. You know, at the end of the day, we signed Brian Rose in, I think 6 months ago. He's had 3 fights, and now he's next up for a world title. So it's a great story.
Is it your job as a promoter to deliver world titles, or deliver world titles that your fighters can win?
Well, ultimately, you want to take a route which you believe will lead you to a world title victory, not that will lead you to a world title shot. In boxing, and rightly so, it's very difficult to win a world title. There's not many easy touches in terms of when you look across the division. You know, and the light middleweight division is a great example. We actually went down the WBO route when the former champion was in place by Sangarov, who was actually stripped. So now that was a vacant title between Vaines and Andrade. Andrade won. He's a very good fighter. I wouldn't say he's like pound for pound, you know, but he's a good fighter. And obviously to win a world title, it should be a really tough fight. My job ultimately as a promoter is to provide an opportunity for my fighters to secure the financial legacy of them and their family. That's what I really feel my ultimate responsibility is. And I don't want fans to start going, oh, well, what about the titles? Of course, every fighter wants to win titles, and I want my fighters to win titles. This is a job. One day when all is said and done, I want to be old enough to be able to pick up the phone to a Darren Barker or a Brian Rose or, you know, Kelbrook, any of these guys, Tony, and I want them to look back and say, you know, I've had a great career. You know, I've got a beautiful house, my mortgage is all paid for, my kids are in great education, you know, and this is why someone said to me on Twitter this morning, oh, bet the Brian Rose fight's away again like the Darren Barker fight. I said, well, option A, either secure my fighter's family legacy, or 2, listen to some donut on Twitter that don't know what he's talking about, you know? And of course, in an ideal world, all fights would be in the UK. But you have to look at the best deals and the best opportunities. And in answer to your question, the long-term goal is to get a world title shot. Of course, strategically, against the easiest opponent. But unfortunately, sometimes easier opponents take longer to get to, or difficult opponents might take shorter. So you have to weigh up all the situations. And in the light middleweight division, I'd probably say this was the easiest fight for Brian Rose to win a world title when you look at what's available elsewhere. So, you know, without blowing our trumpet, because you know I'm shy and insecure myself, we're doing a fucking great job at the moment. And, you know, like UPS, as I told you, we're just delivering non-stop. And I'm going to deliver more and more and more world title opportunities for our fighters. If they're good enough, they'll win. If they're not, they won't. But they get the opportunity, they get the readies, and they'll come again if they lose. Just like Gavin Rees did, just like Darren Barker did, just like Lee Purdy did. But ultimately, I feel my responsibility is to make sure these fighters earn their dough.
A lot of people have had an opinion about James Toney being in this prize fighter. Parents were ringside the other day. We've done an interview with him 2 days ago. What is your take on this? Because, like I said, a lot of people have an opinion about whether he should be in on it. You obviously think he should be in it, otherwise you wouldn't have put him in it.
Yeah, I think the main thing is I look at activity. I look at recent fights. You know, he's had a few fights this year. He's coming off a win. He went 12 with Lucas Brown recently, who is a bit of a beast. I think you have to look at the levels that they're mixing at. And in my opinion, in this field, James Toney is well within his rights to be here. I mean, he's passed all the British Boxing Board of Control medical requirements. He's been approved by the British Boxing Board of Control. You know, we haven't gone to another governing body from another country to try and slip him in and be clever. We've done it the right way. and he's one of the favourites to win. So if it was a case of what is he doing in this tournament, he's going to get hurt. No, totally disagree. He might win. So if this was a tournament with Deontay Wilder, David Haye, you know, these kind of boys, I would say, yeah, this is, you know, but it's not. It's a tournament with some good young British fighters, some experienced US fighters, and Tony is a huge draw. I have to have my commercial hat on. The event is sold out. The ratings are going to be fantastic. He's a legend of the sport. Of course he's past his best. But, you know, I can understand both sides of the argument. As well, Prizefighter is what it is. You know, it's something unique in boxing. It's not your traditional 12-round championship, credible, old-school boxing. It's Prizefighter, you know. And it's going to do brilliant numbers. And I'm pleased to have him here, even though he's a complete nutcase.
He's a complete nutcase. Who do you think's going to win it?
If Tom Little's fit, I think he's got a really good chance. I don't know a lot about Matt Legg. But, you know, I hear he's game. Larry, what's he going to be like coming back? I don't know. James Toney, you'd have to think knows enough to get through. This Minto is apparently he's an absolute brute and loves a tear-up. But again, the beauty of a Prizefighter, no one's got a clue who's going to win. In fact, no one's got a clue who's going to win each quarter-final. But isn't that the beauty? You go down, you sit down, you turn on your TV. You know, this one's on a Thursday night. I'm trying to do something a little bit different here. I think we're back on the credible level with boxing. Let's make Saturday nights your pure championship nights in big arenas for meaningful world title or final eliminators or big European title fight nights. Let's make the Prizefighter what it is. Great fun. Everyone turns up on a weeknight, Thursday night, have a few beers, watch the boxing, few knockouts. Then you've got Anthony Joshua coming in there to smash someone. I mean, it's like, you know, this is Prizefighter. And I think we're back at the level now in boxing where we don't need as many prize fighters to draw the casual audience in, because our audiences, especially the last few, have been really, really good on a Saturday night. So we adjust, as we always do. In the new deal, we'll go from 6 prize fighters to 3 prize fighters, add more Saturday night fight nights. But Prizefighter still does a great job. It still sells out every time. It still rates really well. So with my commercial head on, I can't ignore these facts. Comprende?
Comprende. Anthony Joshua, he's going to have 5 fights by the end of the year. So you just want him getting out, don't you? And he's obviously got a tough test in Dorian Darch at the end of the year. I can't pronounce this Croatian's name.
Nor can I. He's game, really game. He went 6 rounds with Hughie Fury recently. It's just another progression. You know, he's fighting every couple of weeks. Mix it up. You know, he's had a big lump, game Italian, unbeaten to start. He's had the more experienced Paul Butlin. This time he's going to have, I think he's 5-4 or something like that, this Croat. It's going to be game, come to fight. So just keep learning. Every night is an experience. He's boxing the O2, boxing Sheffield Arena. Now he'll go to the Mecca of old school boxing, Yorkall, and he'll get a fight there. Then he'll box at the MEN Arena. Then he'll box at the XL. I mean, fucking hell. How good is it to be a matchroom fighter? I don't know, Kugan. I mean, you have to tell me. How good must it be to be part of this movement?
Well, I don't know. I ain't one of your fucking fighters, am I?
I'm not surprised.
Go there, Ed.
You look more like an opponent.
What, one of the moody opponents you get from abroad? Right, calm down.
What are you trying to say? You're a foreigner?
I ain't a foreigner. I was born here.
What you said. What's abroad got to do? Why are you going there?
Because you get these opponents that no one's heard of from abroad, obviously, don't you? Everyone says. Ben Eliami.
The Tiger.
The Tiger, who Anthony put in his dream stable as well. Second fight for him, cruiserweight, looks to have some potential there.
Yeah, really difficult to match as well. A lot of people know a lot about him. Former ABA champ. He's fighting Moses Matuvo, who's like standard opponent. He's actually a lunatic. Have you ever seen Moses Matuvo?
I've seen him. He does a dance as well, a special dance.
He absolutely scares the granny out of me because he swings punches around. Like he's dangerous. You know, I think he's fought Hughie Fury about 12 times. But Ben is very good. You know, it's not all about just signing people with an unbelievable pedigree. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ben won the ABAs, but he's not an obvious choice for me to sign. And, of course, he's Anthony Joshua's cousin, so I like the link there. But there's something about Benny Amy, you know? Sometimes you meet someone, you know, I've met fighters, even recently, who are top names, and I look in their eyes and I'm just not sure, you know? And it doesn't mean that I'm right or I'm wrong, but if we're going to go on a journey together, I want you to have the same feeling of excitement that I'm going to have. You know, and some people you just click with. And Benny Amy is one of those people where I looked at the cruiserweight division, I thought, I think you can do things unexpectedly. He's got immense power, great movement. He's very raw. And I just think in that division, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with him. So I'm excited. I'm excited by him. I'm excited by everybody, Kugan, that we represent at the moment. I mean, I can't tell you how much I'm buzzing at the moment for British boxing. It's just, you know, every day I just, you know, we're grafting for each individual fighter. There is so much going on. Every night I get home, I have a little bit of dinner with the missus, the kids, pack them off to bed, and then I'm up all night grafting, speaking to the US, speaking to the international matchmakers, planning out pages for each individual fighter, planning out each individual show. When's everybody going to box? Make sure everyone knows the next 2, 3, 4 fights. You know, I mean, I won't lie to you, Coog, I'm on fire at the moment. Fire. I feel, you know, I feel unstoppable with this team of fighters that we got. I feel unstoppable. And they are, 2014, it's got to be so exciting to be a matchroom fighter. It's non-stop opportunities. Everyone who's winning is going to get more and more opportunities, and even the ones that lose are going to bounce straight back into big fights. I mean, I can see looking at your eyes, you may even have a chirp on right now yourself.
I haven't. You look a bit rough today, actually, because
I had a bad sleep last night. Yeah.
So
I had a bad. Sorry, fucking James Bond.
Asian James Bond. Yeah. All right, just to finish off, FROCH and Groves next week. This is giving me a chirp. Yeah, I can't wait for this. You was in a media lunch with FROCH on Monday, one with Groves on Tuesday. Did they say anything different to what they've been saying?
No, I just saw supreme confidence from both men. Carl looks like a caveman, ready to go into some kind of barbaric battle. And Groves looks great, talks ever so well, so confident, you know. And the pressure's on Carl Froch. I mean, what I've noticed is the expectancy is from Carl Froch to win this fight, you know. And in his head, losing this fight to George Groves would be horrific, you know. And George is sort of the underdog, but at the same time, you know, he's got a huge amount to gain. But again, I suppose in his head, he thinks he can't lose the fight. So I just can't wait. I watched the promo driving up here in the car, and it was giving me goosebumps. Now, these are the nights you live for. 21,000 in the MEN. Just a fantastic fight, the cream of the British crop, you know. And I think it's a really, really tough, close fight. Really close fight.
Do you know the card? There was a few people that had something to say about the card. The fighters that are on the card, you can't argue with. Murray, McDonnell, Quigg. The fights they're in, can you see why some people were disappointed? Or
yeah, I mean, look, the response on the card has been absolutely fantastic. I would say 95% has been, wow, I can't believe the value I'm getting for money. No, of course we want to make great fights, and I think that even, you know, Rocky Field is in a great fight. Crawler against Geffen is a really good fight. Obviously, you've got Joshua and Campbell as well. You've got Martin Murray thrown in. You know, you've got Quigg against Silva, which is, you know, talk about a 6-week turnaround or something from his last world title fight. This is still a relatively lively fight. Again, it's catering for everybody's needs. The masses want to see the big names, right? Of course, they can't be in just ridiculous one-sided fights, and they won't be. They'll be in winnable fights, people like Joshua and Campbell, of course. But, you know, there's still, even down to Quicksilver, Crawler against Geffen is a really, really good lightweight fight. You've got the Olympians, you've got Callum Smith, you've got Yafai, you've got Cardles fighting Christoph Zott. It's a good fight, you know. So, again, of course, hardcore fans want to see 50-50 fights all the way through. But I have to put on a card that's going to keep the masses happy, and they want to see the big names. Of course they want to see the big names in mega fights, but when you're talking about adding 6 or 7 huge names, they're not all going to be in 50-50 fights on the undercard of a show. Do you know what I mean? So...
But to be honest, I mean, look, people were tweeting me and going to me, oh, you know, Eddie said about this card being trust him and all this stuff, but the pay-per-view status isn't about the undercard, really, is it? It's about Frotch and Groves, isn't it? You've got a responsibility to deliver the undercard, yes, but people are paying for Frotch and Groves, really, aren't you?
I would think, again, I don't know the official stats, but you're talking about 90% odds are buying for that fight alone, not for the undercard. I feel as though we've got a responsibility to put on a good undercard for fans and subscribers and for boxing. And actually, people say, oh, you said the undercard was going to be outrageous. Do you think the undercard... I do think the undercard is outrageous. It's got a Brit in a world title fight. It's got a brilliant domestic lightweight clash between...
2 Brits and 2 world titles.
2... Yeah, true. Oh.
Actually, 3 Brits.
Yeah. You know, Frotch against Groves, a unified middleweight, a super middleweight fight between 2 Brits. You've got another Brit in a world title fight. You've got a British fighter against another one in a really good domestic fight, a lightweight tear-up. You've got 2 Olympic gold medalists. You've got one of the best middleweights in the world in Martin Murray. You've got a great Commonwealth title fight, and you've got 3 of the best prospects in world boxing. I mean, it is an outrageous card. People may want another 1 or 2 50-50, but, you know, it's for the general response I'm getting is it's the best card I've ever seen. So... You know, and again, you're right. You don't have to put on a brilliant card to drive pay-per-view sales. I just feel it's the right thing to do, and that's why we do it. You know, and obviously Sky demand a great card as well.
Well, all right. I think this Wayne's going to commence soon, so quite genuinely excited about tomorrow. Just James Toney.
It's going to be really.
He's going to give it to Wayne.
Yeah, it's going to be quite mad. I think it's going to be entertaining. Who are you picking?
Do you know what? I don't know. I think that Brian Minto may be a little slide bet.
Yeah. I haven't seen him yet. There's a lot of big men turning up.
A lot of big men.
Must be getting excited.
Why am I getting excited about that?
Well.
Can't have it both ways, Ed. All right, well, listen, I'll catch up with you tomorrow, and then obviously next week, gearing up, full week of press for Frotch and Groves.
Monday is the public workout for Carl Frotch up in Nottingham, in the Broad Farm shopping centre. One's a prison, one's a shopping centre, isn't it? Is it Broadmarsh? Broadmoor. The other one, George Groves, will be at Westfield in Shepherd's Bush on Tuesday for his workout. Wednesday will be the undercard press conference in Manchester. Thursday will be the will be the Frotch Groves press conference. And then Friday, I haven't told anyone this, but we'll be in Manchester Central, which is the old GMEX, the big glass building there for the official weighing. It's going to be brilliant. Manchester's absolutely buzzing for this night, and you know. Frotch against Kessler was obviously the biggest fight Britain's seen in 2013. Is this one bigger? I believe it is.
Yeah, I reckon it is. And also a limited amount of tickets are left. Will go on sale today. Might be too late. I don't know. Maybe too late by the time.
Obviously, just to explain to the 1 or 2 people that said, I thought you said it sold out in 11 minutes. There was an allocation, I think something like 18 or 19,000 that were on the box office, and the rest were held back for fighters. Some promoters just like to sell everything on the box office. I like each individual fighter to be able to have their fans in the arena. I think it makes for a better atmosphere, and I think it's the right thing to do. We give them a deadline, which was Monday, to return all tickets that was left. There's like a couple of hundred. There's like a dozen 80s, some 200, 300s, and some 500s, and they'll probably go today. So, and I'm glad they were returned rather than put on, you know, a website. And I've seen the tickets on these, you know, resale websites, and there's nothing you can do. You know, I mean, for these big sellout shows, people are going to buy tickets and potentially sell them to try and make a few quid. That's, you know, it's the way of the world. So, but we put a few more on. Hopefully they'll get all snapped up by legitimate boxing fans, and it's going to be a great night.
All right. Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for talking to at KUGAN CASSIUS. Do you know why I've got to do this?
Try and get followers.
No,
Well, obviously.
Well, not really about followers, but it's like you go on Sky like every 5 minutes, like you pretty much rape Sky Sports News all the time. You're always on it, right? You've never plugged us ever, never even like.
So tell us about the FROCH GROVES fight. Oh, it's an unbelievable fight, and I've got to tell you, I don't know if you know my big Sri Lankan mate, KUGAN CASSIUS.
Yeah.
Give him a follow on Twitter. Anyway, back to the fight.
I'll take that.
I bet you would. I'm not sure.
You can slip something in at some, not on live, obviously, but some little.
Right, next week I will do that. I will say at some point in the interview, and I think the best way to do it is something like, you know, the boxing world's buzzing at the moment. You know, the media outlets are expanding all the time. Obviously, you've got the traditionals, the boxing news, the Ring magazine, but even the new wave of media now coming into the game. Look at KUGAN CASSIUS and I Film London ruling the social media networks. You know what I mean? You know.
What are you going to do this on?
I don't know. Maybe one of your interviews.
Fail.
We'll get it in. We'll get it in somewhere.
I know I've been on ringside, obviously. I know, I've been on ringside, but it'd be nice from you because I googled you yesterday in our no, not googled you, put you in the YouTube search. Everything that comes up.
How bad did it get that you had to resort to googling me?
No, I just typed in Eddie Hearn in the YouTube.
You porn, and then it was like, I want something
Pornhub.
more. I want something more. Google Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, and I put Eddie Hearn, and literally every interview comes up. You've had some views, you know.
You're a big platform for me. As someone said to me once on Twitter, I'd be nowhere without you. And they actually meant that.
It's actually fucking true.
I do think you've been a huge part of our success. I want to get the message across. It's a great platform.
This is the real Eddie Hearn, isn't it? Not the one that sits on the ringside bench.
Yeah, but what do you want me to do on the bench? I mean...
Well, obviously you let a man touch your ear roll up and didn't say anything for half hour, so obviously that proves what kind of man you are. Right, listen, I'm going to end this. I've been flirting with some woman down there on interview, Rachel Charles. So that's.
She represents some of the Americans.
Damien Wills. Yeah, she's a very nice woman. Right, this is KUGAN CASSIUS with Eddie Hearn here. Follow him on Twitter at Eddie Hearn. He needs a few more followers, doesn't he? 110,000 now. Yeah, so.
Didn't buy one.
I know you didn't actually, because I remember when you had like 2,000 followers and you were like begging for followers, and now it's like 110. Thank you very much.